One of my subscribers has asked me to rebuild the Jacksonville Jaguars, but with the new addition of Brian Thomas Jr. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and or subscribe. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes. I would appreciate that. But overall, I think the Jaguars are a sleeper team. Last year, they were doing really well until they went on a hot losing streak. I think they were like, what, 9-2, 9-3 at one point of the season. Then they completely wiped out, missed the playoffs. It was kind of a crazy downfall. But overall for the team, they got Eric Armstead. They paid him an absolute bag. He's a very underrated defensive tackle. I don't know if underrated is the right word. More like underappreciated is the right word. They also got Mason Smith here in day 2 in the draft, so I'm going to start him over Devon Hamilton. I do like Devon Hamilton in real life, but Mason Smith, 1, I don't have to pay him. 2, he's young. 3, he has star dev. Tyson Campbell here, I think he is a baller. I mentioned this in every single Jaguars video. This dude does not get enough respect. I believe he deserves to be an 88 overall. 87, 88 realistically. I'm not going to change his overall because I don't want to cheat in the game because this is just how it is. Also in the draft, they did get Jarrion Jones at defensive back. If you guys do want to get these rosters, make sure you look at the link in the top of the description. Now I know Christian Kirk does profile as a slot wide receiver here, but I'm going to put Brian Thomas Jr. here as the slot, and then Christian Kirk is going to be the 1. Gabe Davis as the 2, another new addition to their team. Gabe Davis, I'm not a huge fan of him in real life, but hopefully this does work out for the Jaguars. I mean, before, I wasn't a huge fan of Christian Kirk. He ended up working out perfectly for the Jaguars, despite at the time, his contract was terrible for the receiver market at the time, because as soon as he got paid a huge bag, I'm not going to lie, this dude single-handedly obliterated the wide receiver market, but the Jaguars knew what they were doing because they had an out on his contract, so if he didn't end up working out for them, they could have just cut out his contract, but he did end up working out for them. Christian Kirk was a nice move. I'm surprised he doesn't have superstar dev. And then Gabe Davis, hopefully the same thing happens with him. Devin Duvernay, he's more of a return man than he is a receiver. Evan Ingram, he's super underrated. I don't understand how nobody really talks about him. I mean, I hear some talks here and there, but it's not like high-end tight end talks. You hear Mark Andrews, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. Evan Ingram's a top 5 at tight end in the NFL. Very good in my opinion. O-line is very nice. Cam Robinson, maybe I replace that in the future, but I think in real life the Jaguars want him as a long-term left tackle. And overall, I think the Jaguars are a ready playoff team. Some people are questioning Trevor Lawrence. Some people are comparing him to Daniel Jones. I like him a little bit better than Daniel Jones. He hasn't been stand out for a #1 pick, but overall he hasn't been horrible enough to where you can just straight up replace him. Then we obviously have our GOAT in Mac Jones. 3 and 4 at the midseason mark. The Titans with Will Levis is currently holding the division over CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is sitting at the bottom of the division. Defensively, my team ranks suck. And I know I complain about my defensive playbooks every single simulation. I'm genuinely trying to figure out what works. I look up on the internet and I look up on Reddit or Quora or anything about what works. I'm trying Seattle's playbook and a 4-3 cover. A lot of people told me this was working, so I'll try it out and see how I like it. And for the Scouting National Focus, I think I'm going to do defensive back here to pair someone with Tyson Campbell. For the players ready to negotiate, Josh Allen needs a contract. I only have $6.3 million. What did we blow all of our money on to be this much in cap debt? I also have to pay Trevor Lawrence pretty soon. I'm going to have to accept that option because he does want to be here. Same thing with Travis Etienne. What are we blowing all our money on if I haven't paid Josh Allen? Cam Robinson is the highest paid player right now. Josh Allen, I will eventually have to pay him. Trevor Lawrence is still on his rookie contract. Gabe Davis, I'm not paying a huge amount to. Am I in like some sort of cap debt? It really doesn't seem like I should have to pay many of these players. Maybe I'll have more in the next season or in the off season. I'm confused about why I don't have a lot of money for my team, considering I haven't even paid my quarterback yet. But I guess we'll figure that out in the offseason. So for now, let's move into the playoffs. And we sneak our way into the playoffs at 9-8, second in the division. Our defensive points per game is 22nd, but it's 4th in passing defense, and it's mid for rushing defense. So I guess for now, I'll just accept that as we're coming off a division rival win to the 5-12 Titans. I think this is actually kind of realistic, these standings. Texans going 12-5, taking the division. Jaguars at 9-8. Colts at 8-9. I do think the Colts, I want the Colts to be better, but keep in mind the AFC is a very strong conference with a lot of very strong quarterbacks and a lot of upcoming quarterbacks, specifically in the AFC South. For the stats and awards, Trevor Lawrence looks nice in passing yards, 100 pass ratings, nice as well, 9th best offense in the league, 4th best defense. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to keep these playbooks. 4,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. It's a little bit too many. Hopefully he can clean that up. And then 100 pass rating. So overall, not a bad season, pretty solid. And then Travis Etienne, I mean, for Madden is pretty solid. In real life, this would definitely not be a bad season other than the interceptions. It would be a good season, but again, in Madden, it's not crazy because he's 15th in passing touchdowns, 26th for passer rating. So in real life, 100 passer rating would be good, but in Madden, this is just a solid season. And then Travis Etienne with 12 touchdowns, 4.1 per carry, 1,200 yards. Christian Kirk, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr.'s rookie season looking nice with 86 receptions, almost 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Evan Ingram, 8 touchdowns, 800 yards. Gabe Davis, nothing outstanding for his contract, but it's not bad. Defensively, Foyeside Oluokun, or Foyeside Oluokun, I believe that's how you pronounce it. And then he has the most tackles on the team for the tackles for a loss. 14 for Josh Allen, 14 for Eric Armstead. Sack 13 for Josh Allen, 9.5 for Eric Armstead. Trayvon Walker only with 5, but these two guys are balling here. Interceptions 2 for Darnell Savage, and then safeties on the team is 1 for Travis Gibson. Defensive touchdowns is 0. Now, I highly doubt we're going to beat the Chiefs here because, you know, it's the Chiefs and they're really good in simulation. And of course, in real life, we lose them 49-30. Our defense allowing 49 points as the 4th best defense in the league. I'm assuming the Chiefs are the #1 offense in the league, so it's very hard to beat them. Not going to be upset about that. Let's move into the offseason. And Caleb Williams makes the Super Bowl in his very first year in the NFL, but the Ravens come out on top 31-24. Lamar Jackson was the Super Bowl MVP and the league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Jaguars. In the AFC South, Case Keenum retires on the Texans, Danico Autry retires on the Texans, and Kareem Jackson retires on the Colts. For the team upgrades offensively, Evan Ingram does get superstar dev. Surprise Brian Thomas, only almost having 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. Doesn't get some type of rookie of the year or close to it for superstar dev, which is unfortunate, but it's fine, I guess. And then Andre Cisco does get superstar dev. That's sick. I'm pretty sure Oluokun and Allen both had superstar dev to begin with. And then Ronald Darby goes up to star dev, which really doesn't matter because of his age. Everyone else here looks the exact same. 85 overall team. For the players ready to negotiate, Josh Allen, Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to accept the option for Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. I'm going to pay Josh Allen. Ezra Cleveland, I would not mind back. $5 million a year. He's young. He has star dev, but it's like, will I have the money to do it? I will not. Josh Allen, he has moderate interest with the team. He wants to just win more. So I'm going to do this, spread it out to 5 years, slightly lower his salary so that way I can actually afford to have him. He resigns with the team. I have no money now. Ezra Cleveland, Dearness Johnson, and all these other extras here are going to walk. I have no money, and even if I did have money, I wouldn't spend it in free agency because I still have to pay my running back and my quarterback. So for now, let's just move into the draft. For the defensive back group here, it looks overall pretty strong. Even in the later rounds, I may just double down on some players here, like how the Eagles did this year with Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Gil Jones here out of Texas. 6 foot, almost 200 pounds, catching, good speed, elite acceleration, ran a 4.45 at the combine, 4.4 flat at his college pro day. Just very balanced is what he looks like here. Man-to-man specifically, zone coverage doesn't look bad, but Manny Scott, 6'4 out of Wake Forest, 200 pounds, good speed, great acceleration, ran a 4.38. He's faster than the other guy, but he doesn't have elite acceleration, which I don't really know how that doesn't make much sense. I guess that's not just for the 40. I guess it's for also the cone drills specifically. But A hip power, A man coverage, A hip power and A man coverage is interesting. He looks stronger, not as balanced. His catching is a C, which isn't a huge problem for me. I need his coverage to be better. I like this guy a lot better because he has A man coverage instead of being a little bit more balanced. He's 6'4", runs a slightly faster 40, which doesn't really make a huge difference. But I like Manny Scott here out of Wake Forest. I'm going to shoot on him, and he has hidden dev, 92 speed, 94 change of direction, 93 acceleration. 6'4" as a corner is really nice, especially whenever you run a 4.38 at your college pro day. He looks great. Zeke Finley in the second round, 6'3", 186, a little bit light here. Great speed, great acceleration. Him being light makes up for that as he runs a 4.35. A man coverage, A catching, B zone coverage. Honestly, he looks a little bit better than the other guy, other than his raw physicals aren't as balanced here. But I think I'm going to double down on DBs here, being 6'3", again, a little bit light, great speed, great acceleration, B zone coverage, A man coverage. He's focused in man-to-man again. He's going to fit our scheme perfectly. Normal dev, that's fine. I still think he has the skills to be great. And in round number 3, I got a center who I'm going to move to left guard to replace Ezra Cleveland. Roger Foster out of USF, 6'3", 300 pounds, 85 strength, 80 acceleration. Hidden dev is the important thing, and A's across the board. And in the 4th round, picking up defensive tackle Earl Young, I was just looking through the skills. This guy had great strength, 92 strength as a rookie is amazing, and then 84 acceleration. Not very agile here, but 70 speed still. 6'4", 310 out of Washington State. Hidden dev is, of course, the important thing, and I picked him because of his athleticism and not because of his skills. And I'm also going to be signing Andy Dalton because he does have the mentor tag to boost XP for Trevor Lawrence. Now, this is the team after the draft. Looks like the AI picked up the second string tight end named Lentz. I'm going to actually start him at fullback because why not? Give him more reps there. Andy Dalton is going to be the number 2 QB, so that way he can affect the QB XP. I'm pretty sure for a mentor to actually take effect, they have to be in the second string QB position. I don't know why, it's just how it is. And then O-line, Foster, at least I don't have to pay him like I would have had to with Ezra Cleveland. Young here, who I got in the 4th round, is a 70 overall. Scott is a 78. Finley is a 79 with the boost. I knew he was going to be good. Being a 78 overall without the boost as a rookie in the 2nd round, that's a really good pick here. Darby is there. I'm going to start Jarrion Jones over Darby. Darnell Savage is still going to be over Tremaine Edmonds, or Terrell Edmonds, my bad, not Tremaine. And then specialist-wise, Scott is going to be in the slot. Do I put Scott in the slot? Or do I put Finley? I'm going to put Scott in the slot. Finley's going to be the 2. Hopefully one of them gets Rookie of the Year. That would be really sick for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then everything else past this looks pretty nice with the team. I just need the offense to perform a little bit better, and then I'm going to move Brian Thomas right back in the slot. Midseason mark 3 and 4 once again. This time we are 3rd in the division. I mean, all my team ranks are in the green except for my defensive passing game. This happens a lot where my defensive passing game, I stack out on defensive backs, and it just seems like, I guess the AI will constantly rotate defensive backs if they're all around the same overall, which makes it kind of worse for the team. So I don't know if it's better to cut Ronald Darby or something like that, because I don't know why my defensive passing game is 25th in the league and allowing so many yards. And we're 3 and 4 after having top 10 offense in points per game and top 10 in defensive points per game, which is a little bit frustrating. But for the scouting national focus, do I want to do defensive tackle? I mean, maybe depth at middle linebacker wouldn't be bad. Maybe replace Travis Gibson. For the players ready to negotiate, Andre Cisco, superstar dev, 24 years old. Of course, I want him back. 5-year deal, around $8 million a year. He re-signs with the team. Foyeside Aluakon, he just doesn't like our scheme fit. Do I really want to pay this dude $16 million a year to be a middle linebacker? Maybe this is a tag and trade prospect. He's about to turn 30. I like his overall, but is it worth $16 million a year whenever I have to pay Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne? And I got Tyson Campbell here, who I'm going to pay a lot less to, around $12 million a year for him. He has interest with the team, and he re-signs with the team, so I like that. Mac Jones, sorry, our GOAT is going to have to go. And then Travis Gibson, Brandon Scherf, I do want back, but he is 33, about to be, so I know his overall is going to go down, so I'm going to wait on that. Cam Robinson, do I really want to pay like this much money for a left tackle? I know he got a 2-year contract in real life. Are the Jaguars going to give him another 2-year extension? I don't know about that, and I don't know if I can afford to pay a left tackle whenever, again, I have to pay Travis Etienne and Trevor Lawrence in real life. Well, in this simulation. Andy Dalton, I wouldn't mind. I said I wasn't going to mind a second-string QB for a mentor, but I'm not paying you $4 million a year to be a backup. Riley Patterson, I'll do a 5-year deal for my long-term kicker. He's young. Devin Lloyd and Trayvon Walker, I'm going to have to accept these options for them because, again, I'm running out of money really quickly because of these quarterback and running back contracts coming up. Foyeside Aluakon, I'm going to hold off on that. Maybe he's a tag and trade prospect just because, again, I don't have the money and I'm not going to pay you $17 million a year to be a 30-year-old linebacker. So for now, let's hope we make the playoffs. Not only did we make the playoffs, we went 12 and 5, but we are 2nd in the division as the Texans continue to dominate. I can see that in real life. I won't get mad over it. And it seems like I have found my defensive playbook rhythm. I'm running 4-3 cover in the Seattle Seahawks defense. My defensive rushing game is 3rd. My defensive passing game is 21st. I understand I have rookie defensive backs and playing at my 2 and 3, but at the same time, they're both 80 overalls now at this point in the season. So it's surprising to me that it's 21st, but either way, it's slightly improved throughout the season. And again, we have a really hard AFC matchup with the Bengals. We have to play the Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers probably retired in simulation. We have CJ Stroud to potentially face. There is a lot of amazing QBs in the AFC conference, so this is just going to be really hard to try and get past any of the wildcard rounds. For the stats and awards, though, Trevor Lawrence looks like a top 5 QB in the league. And, of course, Dak Prescott wins the league MVP. Sure, dude. Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams are balling. Trevor Lawrence 10th for league MVP, so I'm assuming he threw some picks here and there, but 7th best offense in the NFL. Defensively, we are 14th, even though it's at top 5 in points per game. Interesting, maybe top 10. Trevor Lawrence, really 10th for MVP. Did everyone else just have that much better of a season? He was 5th in passing yards, 5th in passing touchdowns. He had single-digit interceptions and 111 pass rating. Still a great season from him. Surprised he's only at 10th for league MVP. I would say he would be like top 7 there. He was 5th again in passing yards and passing touchdowns, but okay. And then Travis Etienne, 19 touchdowns is great, 4.3 average, 1,300 yards. Christian Kirk, 102 receptions, 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns. Brian Thomas, only 4 touchdowns, but 1,000 yards. Gabe Davis, almost 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's stepping up. Evan Ingram with a nice tight end season as well. Maybe Christian Kirk deserves superstar dev once again, because 1,400 yards, over 100 receptions, and 9 touchdowns is a great year. Defensively, Foyesade Oluokun with 102 tackles for a loss, 17 for Josh Allen, sacks 18.5 for Josh Allen. That's going to be a superstar X factor. Trayvon Walker finally getting a huge breakout year, 10.5 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss. Travis Gibson with 6 sacks. Interesting. Eric Armstead with 4.5 and 11 tackles for a loss. Interceptions, 5 for Darnell Savage, 3 for Zeke Finley. Zeke Finley's balling out. I think he deserves star dev for this type of season. I don't know if the AI will give it to him though. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns is 1 for Tyson Campbell. Now we have the battle of the Wildcats. I don't know if we're going to win this. We got to face 99 overall superstar X Factor Joe Burrow, and we don't. Again, this is just a really hard conference to play in. Let's just move into the offseason. And the Bengals beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott wins the league MVP. And Mike McCarthy, coach of the year. Sure, dude. And there are no awards here for the Jaguars, which totally blows. Manny Hill wins Rookie of the Year. Wasn't that the other guy we were looking at for defensive back, Manny Hill? And I chose the other guy instead? Ah, man, that sucks. In the AFC South, a kicker and Andy Dalton both retire. For the team upgrades, Trevor Lawrence goes to Superstar X Factor. First of all, I'm taking off Truz. Why would you possibly have Truz? Gunslinger, anchored extender. And then we're just gonna do safety valve and then call it from there. Christian Kirk goes up to superstar dev, so I don't have to force it. Travis Etienne goes up to superstar dev as well. That's sick. Lentz here is a superstar dev second string tight end, and he's now my superstar dev fullback. So that's cool, I guess. I guess the AI picked up this guy named Gray, DeAndre Gray, from the previous season in the previous draft. I didn't choose him. Foster only has star dev. Defensively, Josh Allen goes up to superstar X Factor. Darnell Savage had 5 interceptions, so he goes up to superstar dev. Finley doesn't get upgraded, which really blows. I feel like he had a good season as well. Scott goes up to an 81. I think I want to cut Ronald Darby too. I just don't want his contract on my team anymore, because I feel like having more depth at a certain position just kind of holds back your team. So I'll cut him in the next season because it says there's 1 year left on his contract, so maybe you have to negotiate his contract. I like the depth that we have here at the defensive line. Need to replace Travis Gibson or maybe even Foyesade Oluokun because I cannot afford to pay him. But let's move into the re-signings. So we got Foyesade Oluokun, Devin Lloyd, I'm going to accept his option, and then Trayvon Walker, I'm also going to accept his option. Daddy Mac Jones is going to have to walk. Brandon Scherf, again, I do want him back, but I am going to have to tag. I am going to tag and trade Foyesade Oluokun now that I know this. I know he's not going to accept this option. He wants to play for a new team. That's what I planned for him to do. Brandon Scherf, I'll do another year and work down his contract as he regresses. And then Cam Robinson, I just can't afford to pay both of my left tackles here, so they're both going to have to walk. Everyone else I don't care about. So with that being said, Foyesade Oluokun, $21 million. Going to go into negative cap here, and then I'm just going to tag and trade this guy. Everyone else here is unfortunately going to have to walk, and I'm going to have to pay out Trevor Lawrence's contract in the next season. So let's move into free agency and the draft. The Bengals are willing to give me superstar Cam Taylor-Britt, who's 25 years old, a 3rd and a 4 and a 6. If I didn't have defensive backs, I would definitely take that. I don't need a wide receiver. A lot of people, it seems like some people may be willing to trade a 1st-round pick for Foyesade Oluokun. Realistically, no one's going to be paying a 30-year-old linebacker, a 1st-round pick for a 30-year-old linebacker. So at most, I'll do like a player and maybe a 2nd-round pick. But ooh, actually, Eagles want to give up their new left tackle, who I don't have to pay, and a 2nd-round pick. That might not be bad. Already given up on Jahmyr Gibbs Lions after how good of a rookie season he had. It's kind of crazy. Honestly, I think I'm going to go with the Eagles offer here. I know it seems a little bit unrealistic, like I'm getting too much in return for a 30-year-old linebacker, but I guess He's still performing at a high level. I can't afford to keep him on my team. I need a new left tackle. I don't want to draft one, so I'm getting a second-round pick, and I'm also getting a new left tackle for the team. So yeah, that works out for us, considering that I don't have to pay this guy. Let me look at his contract. Actually, I don't need to. He's only been in the league for 1 year, so I don't have to pay that guy. I don't have to worry about paying any left tackle. I need a new middle linebacker, Devin Lloyd's. I need 2 linebackers, 2 outside linebackers. I'm honestly good on every other position other than linebacker, and of course the cap situation that I have to deal with. So for now, let's move into the draft. Now I'm at pick 23 in the first round. Parker German out of Ohio State, second or third round projection. There's not really much here in terms of pass coverage or field general linebackers, as 5'11" out of Ohio State, great speed, good acceleration, B awareness, A hit power, B pursuit, B man coverage, nothing crazy. Andrew Bowens honestly may look, skill-wise, Andrew Bowens looks significantly better. I'm going to pick him up in the second round, but in the first round, I'm going to reach on Parker German here. He's going to have hidden dev, 88 speed, 88 acceleration, very balanced overall in his athleticism. Maybe a little bit more athletic than the other guy, but I think I'm just going to double down on these picks. Andrew Bowens is here in the late second round. He's a 3rd to 4th projection, but again, I'm going to reach on him. His skills look way better than the other guys, but his athleticism, not as much. And he's also 6'3" instead of 5'11", about the same weight as well out of Stanford. Hidden dev as well for him. Similar athleticism, it actually looks like. 87 speed, 88 acceleration. Not as balanced, though, in his athleticism, but his skills, once again, look great. And I get 2 second round picks that are 2 back-to-back. So what do I even want here at this point in the draft? Do I triple down on linebacker? I don't need anything else. Oh man, elite speed, elite jumping. I'm going to triple down here. He has normal dev. It's fine. Penn State, 91 speed is the fastest of all of them. We are set at linebacker now. And then in the 4th round, once again, I'm getting another 4th round defensive tackle. All you have to do to draft good defensive tackles is look at their strength rating. If it's great or elite, that's what you want. He's 250 pounds out of Wisconsin. He's a 4th round pick, 6'3", 93 strength. For rookie is, of course, amazing. Hidden dev. And again, once again, I just took him mainly because of his strength. Now in the offseason, technically the team did regress just a little bit. Our left tackle went from an 82 overall to a 76 overall with the boost here. The team's definitely not bad. Trevor Lawrence and, of course, ETN both improved in their development, and Christian Kirk and Darnell Savage, but still, we lost our 89 overall superstar development linebacker because I can't afford to pay him. German's a 71, Bowens is a 71. Hammond, the guy who I tripled down on in the late second round, back-to-back after Bowens, he's the highest overall out of all the linebackers that I drafted, but he has normal dev, so weird. And then Dale is a 74 overall 4th round pick. Hamilton I had to let walk. Scott I'm going to put as the 2. Finley's going to be the 3. Everyone else looks pretty good. And Ronald Darby, as I said before, I'm just going to cut him off the team because I have the theory if you have too many good defensive backs or too much depth at defensive back, the AI will constantly rotate in like garbage defensive backs that don't need to be playing. So I'm just going to keep the guys that I have here. Prince definitely isn't a bad depth player there. Got this guy named Browning in the 5th round, I believe. So either way, team looks nice. Again, the development side and the cap issue that we're dealing with isn't the best. But it is what it is. Looks like Bowen's going to be coming off the edge. I don't really have any say in that. And then Edmonds is not going to be a sub linebacker. I want the other guys to be there. And then apart from that, Thomas Jr. is going to be there. And I'm going to move around the sub linebackers. And I'm also going to be signing Jimmy Garoppolo as a mentor tag just for Trevor Lawrence once again. 7-0, top of the division. I did not expect this. Number 1 in defensive points per game, but we are mid in our defensive passing game and rushing game. Again, I don't know how that works, but sure, I'll take it. Coming off a 10-3 win against the Cardinals, so our defensive points per game is that serious considering our offense can only score 10 points. Scouting national focus, I'm going to multi-down on middle linebacker. Honestly, I don't even know what I need at this point. Sure, depth at safety. And for the players ready to negotiate, I have $142 million to spend. He doesn't like our scheme fit. We're winning games, Trevor. I don't know why you don't like our scheme fit. He's going to get paid about $55 million a year. They said he was going to get a bag in real life, so I guess this makes it realistic. We're going to have to pay him for it, and he just doesn't want to do it. I think it might be even cheaper just to tag the guy for $40 million than pay him $55 million a year. Travis Etienne, I'm just going to do player friendly, $14 million a year. He re-signs with the team. He's not going to be picky about it. Christian Kirk, even though he's about to turn 29, I want him for the remainder of the rebuild. I know it's a 5-year contract, but there's only 2 years left on the rebuild, so I don't care. Gabe Davis, he's only 26. I thought he was like 27 in real life. I'm not going to lie. He just doesn't like our scheme fit. He wants to have a mentor, but even if I sign a mentor, he just doesn't like our scheme fit. I'm winning games. I'm not changing the scheme fit. Evan Ingram, he's a superstar dev. I know it's a 4-year deal for this guy, but again, there's only 2 years left on the rebuild, so I'm going to keep him for that. Darnell Savage, I do want to keep around for the rest of the rebuild. He doesn't like the scheme fit. We're winning games, guys. We are undefeated in the scheme fit. I'm not changing the scheme. Devin Duvernay can walk. Brandon Scherf's going to regress. Eric Armstead is going to regress as well. Terrell Edmonds, I don't need. All these other guys don't need. Mitch Morris, I guess I need to scout new one for him. Jimmy Garoppolo, how much does it cost to keep you around? Sure, I'll just do a 2-year contract with you so that way I can keep you as a mentor. Logan Cook, sure, I guess I'll just keep him for the rest of the rebuild for 3 years. But I still have to, I have $38 million left. That includes the money that I tried to pay Trevor Lawrence. So I'm going to have to pay him, maybe Gabe Davis, Darnell Savage I want to do, Brandon Scherf, hopefully he doesn't retire. And then everyone else here, I'm not really that interested in. Anton Harrison, I'll accept that option. But for now, let's see how we do in the playoffs. Hey, okay, so we big brain this. I can't lose in the wild card if I don't play in the wild card. Hopefully, we actually get a playoff win here, though, because this is our 3rd time in year number 3 now making the playoffs. 15-2, top of the division. The Texans are 9-8, and it doesn't seem like they made the playoffs. Did anyone else make the playoffs? The Colts at 10-7 did make the playoffs. Number 1 in defensive points per game, but not top 10 in passing defense or rushing defense. Again, I'll take it. My offensive points per game is 3rd. My offensive passing game is 3rd as well. Stats and awards. Trevor Lawrence looks like a league MVP. Is he the league? Oh my God. Dak Prescott is the league MVP. Yeah, sure did. 3rd best offense in the NFL. Trevor looks like a baller, and then 10th best defense. So Trevor, 4,400 yards, 40 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, 126 passer rating. Dak Prescott, oh my God. No, like, this has to be a different level of glazing, dude. 50 touchdowns to no interceptions. I have never seen a QB play a full season with no interceptions in a Madden simulation. 140 passer rating, 4,800 yards. Yeah, that's a league MVP. He's better than Trevor Lawrence in simulation. The dick riding is crazy. There's no way Dak Prescott goes a full season, or any quarterback goes a full season without throwing a singular interception. It's crazy. The meat writing is crazy from EA. EA devs need to hop off whatever they're feeding Dak Prescott. But anyways, Trevor Lawrence, in a realistic world, you would have a league MVP here if my God, Dak Prescott actually had realistic stats. But anyways, Travis Etienne with 19 touchdowns, 4.6 per carry, 1,400 yards. Christian Kirk with 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns. Brian Thomas with 14 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. I mean, he was doing good before, but this is definitely a jump up from what he was doing previously. That's worth superstar dev. Gabe Davis, only 4 touchdowns, but 1,000 yards. Evan Ingram, 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. Great ball distribution here between the receptions. Defensively, Devin Lloyd with 108 tackles, 102 for Parker German. Nice rookie season with 8 tackles for a loss, 1.5 sacks. No interceptions for him, but still tackles for a loss. 15 for Trayvon Walker, 14 for Eric Armstead. Sacks, 16 for Trayvon Walker. That's superstar dev. Josh Allen with 15.5, 5.5 for Eric Armstead. Interceptions, 4 for Manny Scott. Andre Sisco also with 4 interceptions with him. I could be totally tweaking. Safety, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. But who are we going to be playing in the divisional round? Please, dude, if I lose 3 playoff games in a row, especially to the Colts here, we're 2 overalls higher than them. I'm going to quickly upgrade the players so that way there's no reason why we lose here. Can we beat the Indianapolis Colts to move on to the conference championship, getting our first playoff win here in this rebuild after making the playoffs 3 times and failing in the wild card the first 2 years? Here to face one of the wild card failures. God, I'm stuttering so bad. Either way, one of the wild card failures in the Cincinnati Bengals, but this time we get home field advantage. We're 1 overall higher than them, but again, they have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. It's going to be a tough challenge. Here we are against the Bengals. They're going to open up with nothing. We're going to respond with 3. Decent start for us. They're going to take the lead, though, 7-3 here, 7-6. Offense needs to put in the end zone here. They finally do. 13-7 at halftime. We open up the half as well with the ball. 21-7, 21-10, 18-21. Offense needs to ramp it up a little bit more to help the defense here, and they're going to finish the game here 35-25 against the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're going to be moving on to the Super Bowl in year number 3. And of course, we have to face the 50 touchdown to no interception, 4,800 yard league MVP, undefeated Dak Prescott, my favorite. Team upgrades. What do we have? Brian Thomas goes up to superstar, as he should. A great year for him. Defensively, Andre Cisco goes to superstar X Factor. I didn't think he would progress so well. We already saw that German and Bowens both have superstar and star dev. Manny Scott has superstar dev. I'm really upset that Zeke Finley never got any development whenever I drafted him, but still, he's been a decent player for us. Trayvon Walker just had 16 sacks, and you're going to tell me that's not good enough for superstar dev? It should be X Factor, but I'm not going to boost it that far. I'm just going to give him one more dev up. And this defense looks not prepared at all to take on the 50 touchdown to no interception Dak Prescott and the unbeatable Sim Gods, the Dallas Cowboys. Here we are against the Cowboys. They're going to open up with nothing. We're going to open up with nothing. Finally, we score 7 points on the board. We make it a 14-0 game. Wow. Your league MVP is having not so much of a league MVP day here. 21-7 against your league MVP. 14-21. They're still in this game. 28-14. Offense is holding up well. And we're going to show you, Dak Prescott, who your real league MVP is. Oh, it's a regular season stat. Not anymore, baby. We're going to take it. You may have won league MVP and we got runner-up, but it doesn't matter. You got runner-up for that Super Bowl ring because we're going to take it here with Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this will be a successful rebuild. Look at those stats. Look at those stats. Oh, I mean, he still managed to throw no interceptions, but still, perfect passer rating. Perfect game for Trevor Lawrence. 17 for 21, but still 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 300 yards, 80% completion percentage. And then Jaguars, I'm just going to be looking at theirs. Travis Etienne with a rushing touchdown. Brian Thomas with 2 touchdowns. Christian Kirk with a touchdown, 100 yards as well. Great game for the team. Texas for a loss. 3 for Tyler Lacey. Who is that? Sacks. 3 for Josh Allen. Man was eaten. Maybe Josh Allen gets Super Bowl MVP, but I highly doubt they won't give it to Trevor. Well, they will give it. They won't not give it to Trevor Lawrence is how I should phrase it, because Trevor Lawrence, perfect pass rating, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Let's see who your Super Bowl MVP is. And to be expected, Trevor Lawrence is your Super Bowl MVP. Dak Prescott, sure, dude. League MVP, Doug Peterson wins Coach of the Year. That's what matters. Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb wins Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year, but who won the ring? Who won the ring, huh? The Jaguars. But still, we got one more year left, so let's see if we can go back-to-back with the Jacksonville Jaguars despite us already winning a Super Bowl. In the AFC South, Mitch Morse retires with a Super Bowl ring to be expected. Zeke on the Titans and Darren Waller on the Titans both retire. And of course, since we won a Super Bowl, it's no longer about rebuilding a team. It's about maintaining the team. And I know Trevor Lawrence, like, can I even pay him this much? Like $55 million a year. He doesn't like the scheme. He doesn't like winning games. That's what he doesn't like, guys. I'm going to do very player friendly. It goes from $55 million a year to $61 million a year. It's cheaper just to tag him. I'm going to do neutral and I'm going to tag him. He says he's not interested in signing. I don't care. And then Gabe Davis. He doesn't like winning Super Bowl schemes. He doesn't like that. It's just not in his taste to win Super Bowls. And he doesn't like $23 million a year either. So much for maintaining a team. Anton Harris, I'll accept the option. Darnell Savage, like very player friendly, $7 million a year, and you get to win a Super Bowl. How about that? And then Eric Armstead, I mean, honestly, maintain the team. I mean, do I want to pay him $20 million a year? Probably not. So I don't know if I'm going to maintain that much of the team. Brandon Scherf, another year for him. He's going to resign. Terrell Edmonds, for a backup, I'll just do player friendly here, and he's going to test out free agency after, well, no, he's not. He's actually going to resign. I thought he was going to test out free agency. My bad. I'm going to overpay for Eric Armstead to try and maintain the team. 3 years, $20 million. Good thing there's only 1 year left on the rebuild. Duvernay. Do I want to sign him? I really don't. I really don't care either. So I'm going to tag Trevor Lawrence here. And I have negative 4.3 million, so it was technically slightly bit cheaper to tag Trevor Lawrence. Gabe Davis, he's going to hit free agency. I'm not going to be able to sign Duvernay, and I guess I'm just going to need to draft a receiver in the draft. And just not looking in the draft, the AI picked up this guy named Miles Clinton out of Florida State last year. He's a 68 overall with superstar X Factor. Wow. Okay. That's sick, I guess, for him. And at the end of the first round, I picked 32. Andrew Gross here. Oh, what a last name, Gross. Imagine he catches one-handed. They're going to call it a Gross. And his top fits are the Steelers and the Steelers, but also the Chargers. Physical-wise, his jumping is elite because the dude is 6'2". I mean, still, it's not crazy high, but it's good. Decent speed, great strength. Skills are there. I think I'm just going to pick him because of his skills. And he has a gross overall, not really because I can't see it, gross development. Can't see it either. But 88 speed, it's not gross, but a gross amount of jumping. Too many gross here. Gross amount of vocabulary with 96 jumping, 89 acceleration, 88 speed. Picked him because of his skills. He's going to be your Gabe Davis replacement. In the second round, picking up the Mitch Morse replacement, Eric Richardson out of Ohio State, 6'4", 309, hidden dev, 90 strength for a rookie is great. A's and B's across the board, and 86 acceleration. Now, this is the team going into the 4th and final year. Gross is a 73 overall. I really like the receiving core that we got going on. Brian Thomas is an 85 overall whenever we use that XP points on him. Richardson is a 75 overall. Lentz, I mean, I guess we have a superstar fullback, and it's going to stay that way. And for the team, once again, Clinton, somehow an X Factor German, is up to a 78 overall with the boost. Team, as always, looks good specialist-wise. Like Finley there, Gross is going to stay in the slot here to keep Kirk staying at the number 1. I know Kirk profiles as a slot guy, but in this simulation, not on my watch, all right? 4th and final year, let's move into the playoffs. 11-6, second division, barely getting out of a Week 18 win against the Giants, 18-17. My defense is just mid now entirely, even though it didn't really change too much. I mean, the offense is what mainly changed last year. Either way, Trevor Lawrence is playing on the tag, but I don't have to worry about that contract because it's the 4th and final year. Playing the Bengals, once again, this is a team I am sick and tired of playing of, but it looks like we're going to have to do it once more. Stats and awards, Trevor Lawrence, I mean, 2nd in passing yards, but 13th in passing touchdowns. It's not going to be league MVP. Dude, just get Dak Prescott out of here. I mean, he's not league MVP, but he's basically there. Jamal Florence for the Buccaneers seems to be balling. Lawrence is 9 here for league MVP. Best offense in the NFL in terms of yards, defensively mid. And then Trevor Lawrence, 4,700 yards, 29 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, 109 pass rating. Still a good season from him. Actually, a great season from him, just not as good as his previous year, of course. Travis Etienne, 19 touchdowns, 4.5 per carry, 1,200 yards. Great season from him. Christian Kirk, 113 receptions, 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns. That deserves Superstar X Factor for getting 1,600 yards and over 110 receptions. Then Andrew Gross in his rookie season, 11 touchdowns, 1,100 yards. Gross rookie season. Yeah, I'm so cool. But Brian Thomas got outperformed by Evan Ingram. Not in terms of receptions, but in terms of yards and touchdowns. A little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. Devin Lloyd with 119 tackles, tackles for a loss, 17 for Trayvon Walker, sacks, 16 for Josh Allen, 7.5 for Trayvon Walker, 4.5 for Devin Lloyd. I don't know why Devin Lloyd was coming in for the blitzes there, I guess. Then Darnell Savage with 2 interceptions, along with 2 for Tyson Campbell. Safeties is 0, defensive touchdowns is 1 for Tyson Campbell. Can we beat the Cincinnati Bengals? We're 1-1 against them in the playoffs in this simulation, but what do we have? We are now 2-1 here to face the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is where it's going to end. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's an understandable loss, but it's the Chiefs. They're just that good. Yeah, 28-24. Whenever I face the Chiefs or usually the Cowboys in simulation, most of the time I just accept my fate because that's just how it is. Sometimes I do beat them in simulation. It is very rare though, but this will be a successful rebuild with Brian Thomas Jr. because we did win a Super Bowl with him within a 4-year time span. We built him up to an 86 overall superstar dev, and overall I'm really happy with the team we built. We had a bit of a cap situation there in year number 2 and 3. Well, actually in the 1st and 2nd year, I never actually participated in any free agency because of it, but we still won the Super Bowl with this youthful and bright future of a team that the Jaguars have if Trevor Lawrence fully flourishes what he was intended to be whenever he was originally drafted. I don't know if he'll do that in real life. Still, he has a little bit more to develop. I feel like a little bit more to clean up with this team. But still, anyways, guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you like and or subscribe. I'll see you guys all in the next one.